My name is Randy Bumpers, and this is a reflection on the color of my skin.
Earlier today, just a few blocks away, there was looting underway nearby. Police seem to have had enough.
The nation erupted into scenes of chaos, violence, and widespread destruction into the early morning hours. Some protests turned into riots. The nation simmering with unrest unraveled.
How long can you be peaceful when your people are dying?
What's up, y'all? I wanted to talk about some of the current things that are going on in the world. I feel like I need to talk about this because I've seen a lot of societal momentum or societal progress when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement. And I personally think that it's just the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg, because with this momentum, there can be a lot of positive change in the world. Recently, we've seen the lives of George Floyd, BREONA Taylor, and Rayshard Brooks be taken at the hands of police officers. I'll use a common racist trick and say, I'm not anti-police. I have friends that are police officers. I have an uncle, a late uncle, who was a damn good police officer. So I'm not anti-police. I do think there are good police. However, a lot of people don't want to reform police, or they don't think police need reform. They don't think there needs to be a police reform because they say it's only a few bad cops. But the thing about it is, a few bad apples can spoil the bunch, as the old saying goes. When you have cops that witness abuse and don't report it, or when you have situations where cops can report the abuse, lose their job over it, it's hard to have faith in the system when you have issues like that. And I just wanted to just share my personal opinion, not speaking on behalf of anyone or anything that I'm connected to. As you all can see, I am a Black man, and I do have experience being Black. I have the ultimate experience being Black, being someone who grew up in a small neighborhood where we weren't afraid that our neighbor was gonna come in and rob our house. We were mostly afraid of the police. I remember having the talk with my mom. I had that talk with my mom almost every time I left the house. It was always, if you get pulled over, sit up straight, keep your hands 10 and 2, don't talk back, say yes sir, no sir, basically just comply with police officers. And she was worried sick. She was worried sick that I might not make it home because a police officer mistakes my identity. And you can almost feel that. You can feel that worry. You can feel that worry from my mother. And you can almost, whenever I made it home, it was almost like a sigh of relief, like the weight of the world had been lifted off her shoulders. So I think it's important to talk about these things. And I wanted to be vocal. This is my way of not being silent. There's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of people are fed up protesting and demonstrating, and you have demonstrators who, the demonstrations are actually causing change. You see change, you see policy being made, policy legislation being changed, and that's positive progress. However, at this point, it's not enough, in my opinion. I think there's a lot further to go. We have a lot further to go when it comes to societal change and systemic change in society. One of the things that keeps popping up is defund the police. You have people that actually want to fundamentally dismantle the U.S. policing system, but you also have those who only call for reallocation of funds from police, especially from police funds that equip them with military grade weapons and gear. Some people want to see a reallocation of those funds into community programs, mental health programs, rehabilitation, retention, and prevention programs. And that's something I definitely agree with. Defund the police, the phrase itself scares a lot of people. It scares a lot of people to death. But sometimes people need to be scared. They need to get uncomfortable in order to understand how we have felt afraid. As a Black man, being afraid to walk out of my house, or my mother not wanting me to leave the house because she's afraid I won't make it home because a police officer mistakes my identity. From my personal experience, I attend a lot of meetings in my profession, and more often than not, where I walk into a meeting and I walk into a room and I'm the only Black man in the room, or a lot of times even the only Black person in the room. And that's the first thing I noticed. Being in that position is kind of hard because oftentimes colleagues will look at you for answers, or they will look at you to try to explain the situation and basically want you to speak on behalf of the entire race. I don't feel I can speak on behalf of the entire race. I can only speak for Randy. However, there are some things that I do want to get across to certain people. And I've been blessed to be able to work with some of the most diverse groups. Whereas we've had diversity of age, gender, nationality, ethnicity. However, even in those situations, I still will realize when I'm the only Black person in the room, or one of two, the vast minority. And this is something that a lot of people are talking about, people claiming to be colorblind. When they say, I don't see color. That's something that people say, I feel, as an escape to not have to think about color. And a lot of times I don't think people mean malice by it, but it's a microaggression. When you say you don't see color, it's a microaggression because you're not colorblind, unless you're actually colorblind. If you don't see color, you see in black and white, and the world is more colorful than that. I want you to see my color. I want you to see me as a Black man because I am a Black man. I'm proud to be a Black man. If you can't see me as a Black man and recognize that as a strength, or recognize my strength as a Black man, then I don't want to be a part of any team that can't recognize me or doesn't see me for who I am, because I am a Black man. George Floyd. Watching that video brought a lot of emotions. Of course, I was very saddened to see a man's life be taken away from him in front of my eyes. That could have been my father. That could have been me. That could have been my little brother. That could have been any of my uncles. Yes, we've made progress, but I really want people to understand that George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Rayshard Brooks, those individuals should not have had to lose their life in order for us to finally wake up and finally understand that Black lives do matter. And anger is another emotion that I felt watching that, because the cockiness of the cop with his hands in his pocket, blatantly knowing he's being filmed, literally murdering a man. It angers me, because again, that could have been me. So yes, I'm mad. I am angry, because I'm tired of a system that claims to be in support of me and my interests, but will take my brother's life on social media for the world to see. And even when they do that, it takes weeks, days, months in order to get some reaction, get some action. So again, we need to fight for change before the tragedy. If your fight is civil justice, don't wait until the next death. Don't wait until the next brother or sister dies at the hands of police to fight for police brutality or fight for civil justice. Don't wait for the next tragedy to jump into action. I saw a post today on Facebook that said, just because your feed is back to normal doesn't mean Black lives don't still matter. And I believe that. So for those of you that are watching and listening, I just want to say, I love you. I want you to be safe. Realize, guys, there is still a pandemic. This is only the beginning. Go vote and continue to make your voice heard.